Pilbara Wandering, the final part. Last time, I cooked the best stew in the world.
The only flavour I could pick is probably stale cigarettes.
Then, we took in some white man history, an old, what I assumed to be gold battery, and checked out the old World War II airbase. We're in Marble Bar now, the hottest town in Australia. From here, we're on the homeward journey south, but not before checking out some ancient Aboriginal carvings, a meteorite crater, and camping in a couple of the coolest campsites in the Pilbara. Ooh, and there's a ghost town too. So grab yourself a beer, kick back with Duncan, because he's your mate, and enjoy the final episode of Pilbara Wandering. If you're ever in Marble Bar, absolutely check this place out, the Comet Mine Museum. For a couple of dollars donation, the caretaker will give you a solid half-hour history of this old gold mine, from the back porch of the mine manager's residence too, overlooking the hill full of mine shafts. The major gold find here in 1936 brought a boom to Marble Bar. It operated all the way till 1996. It's not totally abandoned, but I don't think it's a working gold mine at this time. While there's still a bit of light left in the day, we're heading over to what Marble Bar is most famous for, the Marble Bar. Well, you can't come to Marble Bar and not see what the town was named for, so I'm sitting on the big chunk of marble, which is actually jasper. Not too sure when they figured that out, but obviously it was too late to change the name by then. Apparently the secret is to get it in the sunlight and throw a bucket of water over it, and then we should see all the colours and mystery just glisten out of it. So let's give that a go, eh? Right, it's 10 to 5, it's time to go back, have a shower, and take two, give the pub another chance, so I'm fanging for that palmy. Today we're heading south from Marble Bar to Kalgan Pool. We made it down from Marble Bar to the Kalgan Pool turnoff in just shy of 4 hours. I was pretty stoked. But we're not going straight to Kalgan Pool. There's some interesting things marked on the map I want to check out. First being something marked Aboriginal carvings. The second, Hickman Meteorite Crater. To get to these and Kalgan Pool, you need a permit to drive the BHP rail access road. Plenty of people head into Kalgan Pool without doing it, but they're naughty. The permit is free at the visitor centre in Newman, and a gold coin donation gets you an excellent map of the area, so there's really no point in doing it all illegally. I got to sit in the car and tell you about this because the breeze is up out there a little bit and the audio would just get ruined. So there's a few attractions to check out down the way of the Hickman meteorite crater. There's some Aboriginal rock art, the Punda rock hole, and of course the crater. We've just found the rock art. It's up on the hill over there. It's all carvings, so not paintings, carvings. That seems to be what they mostly are out here. In the full sun, which is unusual. Normally you see them in the shade or something. And they're all over the rocks. So we'll go and have a bit of a poke around and see if we can figure out what they mean. I've never seen so much Aboriginal art, rock carvings in one place ever. There is hundreds of carvings. There's a lot of these spiral patterns that they carve, and I have a feeling that that is their mark for water. I've got a feeling I've read that somewhere. And I can see that there is water around the corner from this. There's really big trees. I can hear a lot of birds. It's very green down in there, so I think this must have been a favourite spot for them. But yeah, if you love Aboriginal history or any history of the land like I do, this is something you've got to check out. Tell you what, this track into the Hickman Crater is pretty rough. A real steep descent here. But the views, oh my god, the views are to die for. This is the last little bit, coming around to the flat entrance to Mouth. I'm wondering why. It must be because it hit on an angle, because it's sort of flat on one entry and then all raised around the sides, like a bowl that's been smashed in half. I'm standing in the middle of Hickman's Crater, discovered by Arthur Hickman in 2007. So quite a recent discovery really in terms of discoveries. And he found out about this place just poking around on Google Earth one day, and I suppose being that he was a geologist, he thought, that doesn't look quite natural. And yep, it was later confirmed that a meteorite struck here. It's 150 meters across, and the walls around me maybe 50 meters high with a big open side on it. I'm not a geologist or a bloody space junk expert, but given that it's all around me here but it's open on one side, I'd suggest that maybe it came in on an angle, hit like that, and sprayed the rubbish all out one way. You can camp in the middle of it if you desire, but it's like ankle deep bull dust everywhere. I wouldn't really want to camp in that myself. Imagine if you were camping here, right here, however many thousands of years ago. Just got your chair, got your little fire, cooking up, I don't know, what would you have cooked then? Mammoth, probably. Cooking up your mammoth. And next minute, bang, you're not there. You're gone. Oh. I tasted grit. Nice. Now we're going to go and find a camp. It's a long, winding drive in here. It's not far on the map, but that's how the track goes. Big old squiggles. Let's hit the road.
Well, seeing as our drive to the crater took so long, I couldn't see us getting all the way back to the railway and then into camp at Kalgan Pool before dark, assuming there wasn't already someone camped there. So I took a chance on the map and set a course for Punda Creek. Didn't know what to expect, but I was hoping for somewhere sheltered to camp out of this wind. What we found was a gorge, so I guess you'd call this Punda Gorge. A faint track led us into the gorge and slowly got less and less defined. We found a clearing though and set up a nice little camp next to some water.
Making a tuna bake in a camp oven. So right now I'm just melting butter with some onion sliced up. This is going to be the base for a white sauce. So once the butter is all melted in here, then it's going to be approximately a tablespoon of flour. We've got self-raising flour. You'd usually use plain flour, but it doesn't really matter. And then milk. And then you kind of just whack the pasta and tuna in. It's easy. We're not here to put shoes on caterpillars, see? Half a bag of cheese. Yeah, then a can of tuna goes in. Big 425 gram can. There's about half a litre of milk in there. Tuna's a bit stuck in the bottom of the can. Scrape that out. Get it into you. Loving it. Yeah, 375 gram bag of pasta there. Go for half of that. Look at it, it's all multicultural. Give that a stir. Now she's gonna go on the fire. A little bit of coals for the bottom of the thingo. Not too much, or else you'll singe the bottom. Smash it on the coals. Lid goes on. And then 1 metric butt ton of coals just around the lid there. It's got a good deep dish lid on this one so the coals don't spill over and go in your tucker. There we go. You've got to have your fruit and veg in the bush, because otherwise everything gets all blocked up and
it's pretty gruesome. You don't need to know the details. But anyway, it's in a tin, nice and easy to carry. So we've got peas, corn and carrot in that tin there to go with our tuna bake. All you really needed to do was make sure the pasta is nice and soft. Yep, multicultural and soft, just like today's generation.
We are pretty soft.
Now we're going to dish up, see if it doesn't taste like the dog's breakfast. Get that down, you. God, why am I so funny tonight?
Bush eggs will do that to you.
Because I can't be the judge of my own wares, Jake's going to let us know how it is. He's frothing. Look at that face.
It's just like we do it at home. Tastes very good.
What was I going to say about this? I don't know. It's easy. Easy bush food. Yeah, doesn't look like a billion-star restaurant. Bloody tasty though, and easy. Oh.
Yep, I've woken up in worse places. Today, we're getting out of here and into this Kalgan Pool everyone is talking about. Keen. We head back to the railway, then south before turning onto an unmarked track, which is bloody rough. But soon we reach the water. Beautiful, cool, crystal clear running water. We cross and we're confronted by another crossing, and then another. It carries on like this for a few kilometres.
came into Kalgan Pool, but the track went on a little further and got more adventurous, so we continued. But then I pushed it too hard. I got complacent, having just crossed the same river 10 times, each time with hard, rocky bases. This one was different.
Who knew gravel could be so boggy? Now I'm going to have moist carpet.
Well, we got the patrol out, but just as it popped free, the Prado started to go down. Before I could really dig in, we chose to deploy treads.
Well, blow me down and call me Boris. If that ain't the biggest kerfuffle of the trip, then I don't know what realm you're living in. That was a right kerfuffle of about... Yeah, I've had my fill of Kalgan Pool now. What else to say? Yeah, so this isn't the main Kalgan Pool. Someone camped at the Kalgan Pool, which I knew would be the case. And that's fine, because we're going back to where that beautiful freshwater stream is ripping through the hills. We're going to find somewhere to camp along there. No wuckers, bruz.
A short while later, after poking our noses down countless little side tracks, we find our own piece of heaven. This is my favourite part of getting out here, just sitting down and enjoying places like this. And capturing it for you guys, of course. 10 out of 10 would return here.
Well, there you go, that was our last night in the Pilbara. That's a little bit sad. End of 2 weeks in the bush. That's my 2-week bush hair. But don't switch off just yet, because we're going south to check out one more attraction I reckon will be quite interesting. Ruins. Specifically the ruins of the Big Bell townsite. Now Big Bell is about 30 k's east of Kew, so we head south towards the, I forgot the name of it, roadhouse just outside of Newman. Fuel up, and it's 400 or 500 k's south to Kew, and the halfway point back to Perth, home.
start of this trip, I told you how I'd planned to stop at this awesome place, but we left a little bit too late, so I changed our first campsite to the last, and our last campsite to the first. Well, here we are at the first/last campsite. I'm sitting inside the Big Bell Hotel at what remains of the Big Bell townsite. Bloody beautiful building. Done in the Art Deco style, so I'm told. Don't know what that is. Sounds like something only a female would know. So, a little bit about the story of this town. 1935. Some bloke discovered gold out here. Premier Mining Company, I believe it was. Discovered gold, said they were going to open up a mine. So a guy comes along, well shit, you got a mine, you need a pub, boy. And so in 1936, the town was gazetted. Town only lasted 20 years, which is pretty incredibly sad, to be honest. It's such a big, expansive place. It had a railway, one of the biggest hotels I've ever seen in a mining town like this. 2 churches, 2 schools, all these dwellings, and now there's not much left. It's going to take a while to have a poke around this town, so let's start with the hotel, and then we can go across and look at the remaining church and the water tower and all the other remains of people's living quarters.
I reckon this is some sort of outback shelter, eh? I reckon they stored some cool stuff down here.
Wait, Jake, what's that thing over there? What's that thing over in the corner?
Oh, it's an S-bend. I thought it smelled toilet soaps, actually.
It wasn't a secret. It's not a gold pit at all, it's a shit pit.
Alright, I'll wear that.
Jake, where are we going?
Well, what's happened is I've put tomato sauce on my roast dinner and I've sinned, so we're going to go to church. Seriously.
Jake, which church are we going to?
We're going to the church at the west end of town, at the west end of Big Bell. It's a Catholic, well, was a Catholic church. We're going to find out if there are any spirits left inside. Oh, it's the Church of Tristan.
Who's that?
It's right here.
Oh, it's so quiet in here.
It's also echoey though, it's weird.
Yeah.
So obviously, what was the number of people in town?
860?
So, you could fit only a certain amount in here.
Can't have been a lot of Catholics here, eh?
Just a classic 1900s small church building, really.
So there you go. That's the Pilbara in Tents Off-Road style. Last night was our final camp, and now we're heading back down to Perth. That's not something you want to see, because that is incredibly boring. So from Kew, Big Bell, where we are now, back down to home will be about an 8-hour day. Nothing much to see in between. Thanks for joining us on our adventure, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.
Speaking of our next adventure, this is what we've got coming up next. A bit of rough and tumble just a couple of hours out of Perth. We call this one the Damn Good Adventure. Get on Patreon and become one of the crew to see it first before it comes to YouTube.